So quick heads up, I do apologize for the audio quality, specifically with my voice in this episode. Riverside, for whatever reason, decided to not recognize the microphone I was speaking into and rather use the microphone embedded within the webcam. So my voice is going to sound a little broken here or there, and there's also a weird sort of whining that comes in and out, so I do apologize for that. If you do find it bothersome, feel free to just skip this episode, as this was just a fun one. The Cowboy and Quad and I jumped on to record as sort of a filler before the episode that takes place in the funniest timeline, which will be episode 69 next week. But thanks anyways for listening.
I don't think so.
It's a browser for like games, and it makes the wildest noise when you close a window. It literally sounds like a dubstep wobble.
I'm watching out of the corner of my eye these lattice pads I'm trying to print again with new filaments. So if I sprint up at any given moment to stop the printer, something went terribly wrong.
Just squirting out all over the place.
I paid like $80 for this type of like TPU essentially that's been used to print these pads before. So I'm hoping this is the real winner.
Hell yeah, especially if it works well.
Yeah. Also got that PPA carbon fiber, supposed to be better than the nylon at printing like gun parts. So we'll see. We shall see. But anywho, I guess I already hit record, so we can kick it off. I only have really one thing to talk about. Welcome to episode 68 and a half. 69 is reserved for an in-person and the episode that takes place in the funniest timeline. So we'll figure that out next week, I think. Gentlemen with us, we have Quad and Crye Cowboy. And the first thing I wanted to bring up, because I am generally very hard on politicians on both sides. However, recent wins, I think we have to address. Bump stocks are back. FRTs are back, and it looks like the Hearing Protection Act got buried in the budget bill that passed the House, and it could potentially see the light of day if it survives the Senate. I feel like we've been here before, but there seems to be some glimmers of hope in the, I guess, the 2A space, if you will.
And no tax on overtime. That's going to be killer as an hourly worker.
I saw that. Was that capped at $10,000, or was it no tax on tips capped at $10,000? There's a cap on one of those. I can't remember which one it is.
I don't know exactly. I can actually probably.
I'll be honest, I didn't read
look it up.
So I saw that, there's a tax, hey, then on either overtime or tips, not getting taxed. But I heard, it was capped at like $10,000, and after you hit $10,000, here comes the tax.
Let's see if I can find anything.
Yeah. So
let's look it up.
I'm muting him.
I'm getting French toast for breakfast.
Ooh. While you're looking that up, I will say it
allows for up to a tax deduction of $25,000 per year for certain cash tips. Yeah,
cash tips. Okay.
For workers earning $160K or less. So those people working at the places with the $15 Manhattans are not having that happen to them.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I will say that was nice to just, I woke up one day and I started just seeing companies just selling like CNC, like metal FRTs. Like, what the fuck happened?
I know it's big. I mean, it's a big one. It's unfortunate SBRs didn't make it, because it's kind of like when you actually just look at it, like from a logical perspective of like, what would the government give back first? I would have expected SBRs before suppressors, to be honest.
And they're going to have trouble with, I think, the whole SBR and even, I think, the suppressor thing, because I think Brandon Herrera touched on it. But the reason why suppressor like tax stamp turn times were the way that their four turn times were just short as the way they were, was that they had fully hired up for the brace ban, to processing all the forms, the requests coming in to register your short barrel rifles with braces. And then they just have all these employees laying around that they don't really know what to do with. So I think that's another sort of
and they can't be
fired. Working against there. Yeah, exactly.
They could be reassigned,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't be fired.
be reassigned to kick down someone else's door and shoot someone's pet, but can't fire
Or
them.
pregnant wife.
Yeah, that too. So actually, we can. I'm still editing some of all the videos really, and I've seen some photos that Mr. Cowboy has posted. But we hit the range last Sunday. We got shot at. I'm not sure what caliber it was. It sounded like a chunky 30 cal of some sort.
That came over the berm over there. It sounded like
that was like over our fucking heads. That I don't like. Fuck.
As we were basically the way this range is laid out, there are berms running perpendicular to each other and parallel. You're sort of in your own, 10-foot, dirt trench next to you and in front of
On
other
the
berms.
side, yeah. I mean,
And
the back
someone was
berm
just
is like 40
sealing
feet.
it. Yeah, like the 100-yard one was the one behind us. Someone was just sailing it over this, 100-foot berm essentially over our heads. And so now we know what it sounds like to get shot at, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, that was
I'll put the clip of the video in here because the sound
Grand Thumb experience for free.
Literally. And then the old like RSO next to us thought it was us like just ricocheting off steel. And I was like, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah, a ricochet is not that loud.
No, it doesn't come
nor that
behind you
profound,
either.
and you can hear it coming and then you hear it leaving.
But the range did a good job. It sounds like they kicked those guys out if they didn't ban them outright.
Mm-hmm. I believe they did, because I mean that's a great range to train. I mean, it's probably one of the most underrated ranges in Michigan. Like, not a lot of people know about them, and I mean they shoot artillery out there. I mean, it's
Blue Water, by the way. We can shout them out.
Yep,
it's cool.
Yeah, it's check them out for sure if you're in Michigan. It's a little bit of a wait list right now for the next orientation, but I'd say if you're local, get in there. You'll run into all sorts of people in Michigan that train, and good community out there.
And I'm not surprised the wait list is long. I mean, we got there right as it opened. You can't start shooting until like 9:30. We got there at like 9-ish, 9:15 maybe. Cleared our lane, whole, I guess trough, if you will, and sat there all day. And like cars were parking and lining up, just waiting for something to open up. So it's pretty intense.
Yep. The nice part is that you usually can get in at the 100 just to chill out, or if you drive around enough, you find someone doing something solo. Sometimes you can walk up and ask and be like, "Hey, do you mind if I join up?" Like, it's one of the big parts. Or you can go. Apparently, there's always fresh, just super black coffee in the clubhouse, and usually one of the board members is up there, and there's some cool guys can teach you a lot about. Even there's a big black powder and like cannons, like in trap shooting community there. I mean, you also have guys that will teach you how to shoot precision out to 600, because once a month they open up to 600 yards.
That's
which
sweet.
We got to get out there for that one time.
That'd be fun.
And then for whatever reason, so I guess I brought out a whole handful of guns, one of which was the Cowboy lever. I was finally going to run it suppressed, and for whatever reason, I had the forethought to just shove like a round down the new muzzle, the 3-lug muzzle device, thinking for whatever reason, maybe there's just some weirdness between the rifle and the pistol cartridges in 45. I'm just going to do just to make sure there's clearance. And sure as shit, I think it was Bauer Precision is where I ordered that from. I pieced these setups together for different sites. Sent me a 9mm 3-lug. So thank fuck I checked that before I fired. So I emailed them. They're like, yep, here's a return label. We'll swap it out. They sent me the suppressor mount, not the muzzle device for 45. I'm like, I already have one of those. I sent you back the muzzle device. I need the 45 caliber muzzle device. So I'm still sorting that out. But we would have blown up that lever or the suppressor or whatever at that point. That would have been tragic if I just let it
would
rip.
have fucking cartooned out and pedaled out. That would have been actually a cool piece
caught some
for the bar.
Honestly, though, never the first time shooting 45-70, I was expecting it to kick like a horse, but it's honestly a very gentle round.
Oh. 12-pound gun with a
to shoot, not to get hit by.
Like the recoil on that thing was like minimal. It was nothing.
Yeah,
So
it's a fat, chunky boy moving through.
I was expecting a 308 plus kick from that thing because it's just the size of that round.
Yeah, I mean there was for whoever was at that bay before us, they were shooting 500 Smith & Wesson, and to compare the two casings on top of it was like, huh. That's
and someone
interesting.
also had the armor piercing 22, which is interesting.
Yeah, seeing that.
Would have loved to see what was slinging that around.
Yeah, that little neck down 22 thing.
The
I don't
car's
even
just
know
like
what shoots that.
8P22 though. Yeah, so it's
Yeah, I don't know if that was a brand or what. I don't even know. Or if it wasn't, it could have been 17 like HMR caliber
True.
neck down.
Yeah, very true.
It was weird. I don't even know what that is.
I do want to get out to like the 100+ yard range. I think next time I want to build out a serious longer range gun. I think next. I think there's definitely something. There's incredible value, I think, in the everyday sort of Minuteman space, being able to take out, high value targets from a long distance. And I think there's also a psychological factor of having, a somewhat competent sharpshooter on a squad. So I think that spending the money and putting together a decent like DMR, maybe even a bolty, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's to maintain distance. I mean, it's the biggest thing now. And like, especially as like civilians, it's not our job if God forbid something happens in the U.S. and we experience something like the invasion that happened to Ukraine or October 7th. I would like to think our system of letting people know what's going on is good in America. And I would think that being able to just maintain distance is the biggest thing. That's why I think drones come into play. Having larger caliber guns that could reach out, because it's like, hey, if I throw a drone up, drive it a half mile away, I know someone's coming. If I could just constantly maintain that half mile, I mean, it's with concealment or cover, it's a game changer to keep you and the people around you alive.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, and those fat rounds at an engine block will fuck some shit up.
I mean, I'm going to stick 308. I don't think I'm going to go 6.5 Creedmoor. I think I'm staying the LARPer instead of the hipster long range shooter. Yeah. I really want to shoot 6mm arc at some point though. That just looks too cool.
Yeah, that's badass. And an 8.6. 8.6 is another.
Neat, yeah.
Well, it's not a long range round. It does some interesting things at close range.
I keep seeing the Dirty Kid videos of like the Q, the minifix shooting 8.6 and the 300 black. I'm like, that's just so cool.
Yeah, don't they have the boombox now?
Yeah.
That's an 8.6 and semi-auto. Yeah, that's hot.
We held a sugar weasel yesterday at the Cars and Coffee event, and I'm surprised at how light those things are.
Yeah, no, they are extremely light. And
how long
that's
was
another
the barrel?
thing. Speaking of,
that was shorty, super shorty, suppressed, still even incredibly short, the suppressor on it.
Yeah, no, they're interesting, and that's one of the cool things. To bring Marvin into the conversation with MJ Detroit, is he makes those handguards for the Q rifles and stuff, that the shrouded handguard, so it covers the suppressor, so you get that full rail space with their basically what Q kind of is known for, is the short, slow moving but fuck you up rounds with the 300 black and
sort of look, yeah.
The 8.6 blackout. I think there's a new one coming onto the scene too. Someone's working on.
What was the beef
the same thing
drama with Q? Like the owner of Q was talking some shit, I guess. Everyone.
Kevin?
A little bit, yeah.
Do you know about Kevin?
No, I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
Okay, so Kevin, like, I don't know it too well, but basically to describe it, Kevin is a savage. Like, Kevin says it how it is, and he's the owner of Q. And he's basically the dude with his team that like gone from 300 Whisper to actually 300 Blackout and make a reliable cartridge run through a gun. And so he has a lot of shit talking he could do. And basically what happened that kind of started the beef was the welds on the Q Trash Panda were trash, is what people were saying.
What is the Q Trash Panda?
Yeah, look up Q Trash Panda welds. And it's basically laser welded or arc welded the baffle sections. Yep. And so people were talking shit because they're like, the welds are shit. I think it's a Trash Panda. I don't know which. It's one of their suppressors. Like and so basically, there's a bunch of Twitter drama. Kevin got a hold of the fucking Q main account instead of his own account and started tweeting some savage shit from it. And that's kind of what just happened with that. And then people also say their stuff's like overly expensive, and it's like, yes, it is, but it is high quality. And if you're someone in the market to get what they produce, you're gonna pay it regardless. And that's kind of what Kevin was saying. He also likes to call people poor online, I believe.
That always goes over super well.
Let's see.
I am a poor myself, so yeah. The trash panda, it looks like just like the seams, sort of on the second half of it, the subject, the welds, and the end cap.
Yeah, there was some stuff with that. Let's see if I can find just a tweet from him because it's pretty funny. I guess a post. Is it a post now?
What do we call them? It's probably just a post. People still call it Twitter, anyways.
It's still a tweet. You can't change my mind.
Every time I'm like, damn, I should really use Twitter more, and then I like tweet once, and like, okay, maybe next month.
That's good
I'll
for
try
the
it
next
again.
90 days.
Exactly. That's my quarterly tweet.
Does the Q main account even follow him? I don't even know if it follows him. But like, it's I recommend like listening to the Unsubscribed podcast with him. If you listen to that, you'll get exactly who he is, and it's like why, and then you'll be like, okay, this guy's actually just that's how he is actually. And I mean, he kind of deserves the right to talk shit if he wants to. I mean,
and I think a lot, and this is just total assumption, I feel like a lot of the flack he's getting are from like, you know, warfare application people. I think the Q sort of range of rifles are like fun, cool, neat, like niche rifles.
Mm-hmm.
Just because except, you know, 300 Black's been proven, I think, out in the field and like has seen like uses like here and there. In like true like sort of military combat settings. But I think he's probably catching a lot of flack from the guys who are like F6, you know, 308 till I die, like tried and true boys. Like gun, you can just have guns for fun that are neat. And I think a lot of those fall into the neat category, even if they are like stupid expensive.
Yep. I mean,
but
people
that's what
buy
I feel about 2011s. Like I can't. Every time I look at it, I'm like, damn, that's really cool. I'd love to like shoot that. I could never justify purchasing one myself, just because, you know, it's a fun gun, but I already have like a fun sort of pistol, and I don't know. That's just such an expensive rabbit hole. 2011s.
Yeah, and if you talk to someone who actually can shoot, they have a 2011, but they typically don't take it to competitions all the time because they feel like it's cheating at some points.
Yeah,
because they're extremely accurate. The triggers are. Everyone is going after the accuracy and the trigger of the 1911 platform, whether it's double stack, single stack, and I mean it's just a tale as old as time, and you're never gonna get with the way a striker fire pistol works to behave like a hammer fire. You're never gonna get a hammer fire to behave like a striker pistol, and it's you could if you find someone who just shoots their 2011 and then you put we take fucking the Rizzler from our group with his fucking upside down banging steel with irons with a stock M&P. You give that gun to that person, and they're just someone who like, no, I shoot a 2011. I'm a great shot. Odds are their grip's going to be fucked up when they get behind that. It's going to take some getting used to. But if you take a quality shooter like someone like Pewview, who like, yeah, he's going to shoot his 2011 because it is cheating. He's a fucking amazing shot to begin with. But you can still give him any platform, and he's going to perform.
Right, but fundamentally, he's sound.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a lot of people buy that, and then they never shoot anything else, training with it, and then they can't get behind some other things. But I mean,
fine,
and a lot of them are
just for sport. Then great. If you're into it for the aspect of competition and also maybe improving your fundamentals because you carry daily, then maybe it's not for you.
Yeah, and that's like, and then you can go buy something like the Alien.
The Lugo Alien.
Yeah, something like that, and that's even a step above a 2011 in terms of accuracy and stuff. Gun. Yeah, I mean it's crazy that the way it reciprocates and everything like that, and that if someone only shoots that and you give them something else, they're probably going to struggle, just because it's just different. And then on top of it, just being so taking a lot of the user error out of it, with how well they're made.
Speaking of pistols, because I held probably a dozen SIGs at the Cars and Coffee, just because I think that shop is mostly a SIG shop. Just a lot of SIG promotional posters up, a lot of used P320s in the case, I will say, but most of the ones I held were 365s. It pains me to say.
Yep, you're gonna be a SIGger.
I'm really, really, really sort of like leaning towards wanting like the 365, the comp version, because it feels great, it looks great. You have one, right?
Oh yeah, I have the macro comp.
Yep. Macro comp. Okay, I think that's the one I was looking at the most. What's the capacity on that?
17 plus 1.
Shit,
and then they have the fuse. Yeah, it's 17.
Wow.
And then and I have a base plate that makes up 20 plus one, I believe. But I mean, it's
can get one now.
such a cool platform on top of it. Like you can even, because it is the same with the chassis system with FCU, is, I mean, someone with your size, you don't necessarily have to carry as small as someone like me or Nick would have to carry. So you can look at going.
Even still, though, I have, and I'm still not. It's like where I want it to be as far as like preventing printing. I'm just talking 19. Like my frame isn't. It's like a slimmer frame, and so for whatever reason, I just can't find the right combination of belt, holster, shirt, pants to get it to work. I can get it pretty close. But like if it's sort of like a questionable area, I probably got to go like fanny pack carry or like 4 o'clock carry or something.
Yep.
Dude, my thing about fanny packs nowadays is if people like it's so hit or miss of if people really sit there and think about why you're wearing a fanny pack.
Oh, it's drugs or guns.
Well,
that's what I think.
That's it.
Cross bags are so common now, at least from what I see. As long as you're not rocking one that's like straight up multi-cam with a bunch of molly loops on it, like I think you can like let it pass. The one I have, I forget, it's not Vertex, it's a different brand. It's just all black, plain black fanny pack. You know, crossing the street, you think it's like a Lululemon fanny pack or something. That one's cool. I have no problem carrying that to coffee shops, whenever I'm just going out and about. But like, I do struggle to prevent printing, and most isn't like I don't care, but if I'm going in and out of a place where maybe I should or shouldn't be carrying it, I'll have to adjust appendix carry.
In my experience, most people also don't notice. There's been times where like, fuck, I'm printing bad, and like I'll walk into fucking Whole Foods, and like Foods, none of these fuckers notice shit. Like, and I'm reaching up, and all that short's too goddamn short. My fucking frame sticking out. Like, and I'm just grabbing something. Someone comes up to me, I'll just be like, "Hey, man, what are you talking about?" I mean, they're already schizophrenic. If you're shopping at Whole Foods religiously, and you're like, "This person's carrying a concealed firearm," and you're coming up to me, you're probably pretty manipulative. Like, and I'm just gonna fuck with you and get out of there.
Yeah, there's been a number of times I've walked into Target and I'm just like, nah, it is what it is today.
Yeah, like you go out shooting a Target security guard, like. So, like, the only reason they should be there is, like, take back a story to high school is when my fucking 17-year-old buddy decided to make out with some meth head he saw there. Because we dared him. It's just like, they kick us out, like, for our own good. Like, fucking Target security's a joke. They got cameras when you cash out. Like, I want to know what's in the data center there. That's probably all going to China. And they're just like, all right, we're going to social credit these people before they learn Mandarin from the Target kiosks.
But yeah, no, so 365 macro with the comp, I think, might be the next thing. Just because.
Build it out,
research on them. I know. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I got to do more research. I remember I think it was the Art and More podcast, the guys who were talking about SIG, and they had complaints, and they've observed them sort of like wearing down faster than they should. But other than that, I think that's the only negative piece of feedback on the 365 platform, I think. Oh, do some more research and see.
Yeah, and there's a Flex Raider available for it too now.
That is true. I don't like the foldy stock.
Yeah. The pop-out's
quick,
better.
Yeah, the pop's way cooler. So
I'm sure someone's going to make one. They'll upgrade it or something.
I'm surprised no one's... I mean, there's been so many Glock chassis now that sort of resemble what the Flex Glock chassis looked like, so that's...
You know something about those, though? Is all the Glock ones look like something in Starship Troopers or something. Yep. Like, they're just...
Like a Helldiver gun, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just something about it makes you go like... Whoever fucking made this was either a Star Trek or Star Wars fan.
If you get, like, like the X300, like the one Cowboy gave me on the Flex, it looks like the Halo SMG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To a degree, like, it looks pretty close.
And with that 3D printer, dude, you gotta take, like, a USP and get 3D printed parts on it. Make it look like the Magnum. Speaking of Master Chief, that is my Waze direction sounds.
It is jarring if you're not expecting it.
I'm telling you, I've been working with him for the last week, and every time I hop in the truck for lunch, dude, just listening to Master Chief just narrate our lunch break and where we're going, and then going up to Demo's house. Yeah, dude, that shit's really something. It keeps you thinking.
Dude, I miss
You're
Mr. T
listening
though
to
on
him.
ways.
Do they take them off?
Yeah, Mr. T used to be on there, and it'd be like, if you were coming up on an exit, you'd be like, "Your exit's coming up. I'm pity the fool that missed an exit." And then, oh, it was so good. Or like when you're turning left, and it was like a jarring turn, like you're coming right up on, and be like, "Turn left now, fool." It was fantastic.
Hey, maybe they'll put the AI Darth Vader from Fortnite in it.
That'd be
Aren't they getting
incredible.
sued because of that?
Yeah, they got in trouble for that. The clips on I listen, I'm very anti-AI, but the clips from that, hilarious. People got him say the N-word, talking about big booty Latinas and everything. Just absurd.
Yeah, no, AI is getting interesting for sure. I mean, the new Google video AI is gnarly. They made an entire we're gonna have entire Twitch streamers that aren't real. Like they're just gonna be running through an AI program.
I mean, you already have OnlyFans models that are dudes with just like female filters on.
Yep, which is kind of gay in itself.
Yeah.
Well, objectively, it is.
Yeah, because that means you have to talk to the dudes. Like,
Yeah.
like,
What's the whole
catfishing them? Yeah, no, it's a little messed up.
Whatever you have to do to get the bag.
Yep.
Hey, after seeing some of those cars yesterday,
get that. Yeah, get a GT3 RS.
Favorite cars from yesterday? Go.
Definitely the
Twin turbo
Countach.
Mustang.
Yep, twin turbo Mustang's up there with me too. That Calvo Viper.
Disgusting.
The Calvo Viper
That
was
thing's
gnarly.
Stickers that Viper had on the side screen. So
I think it was.
in it.
Yeah, I think it was. His I literally think it was like his kids. Like, I think it was pictures of his kids or something. What else was there that was really cool? Obviously, that Volkswagen truck was a vibe.
That was sweet. Slam, super simple, clean.
There was a lot of very clean 240s and Japanese like JDM cars there. Like there was nothing really too clapped out, and it really only came down to the Subarus, which we all know 60% of Subaru owners are furries. No offense.
And lesbian.
Yep.
Don't forget my domestic abusers.
Yep. No, it was some incredible cars there. I think it was a great meet. That one dude who owned all the McLarens that were there that day, that was kind of wild.
Is he affiliated with a dealership or something? Like, why?
He has to be.
5 McLarens, like they're the same, like 2 models across 5 cars. That's crazy.
Or it's a rental company. Like I can see it maybe being like doing rentals. I don't know, but
I think he is a dealer. I think that's how I remember the conversation with Donnie last year, because there was the McLaren dealership, and then there's that race shop. I think the race shop owns the Lamborghinis.
Black Ferrari.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Is that black? Is the black Ferrari? Does it come like? Can you get it from the factory like that, or is that like a? Does anyone know?
Good question.
Because I know Ferrari, like you put an exhaust on it, and they'll send you a fucking cease and desist. Those fucking cucks.
People messing with their shit.
Yeah, you come from a country that lost World War II. Shut the fuck up.
The only thing you're known for is carbs and cars.
I'm trying to think if Ferrari ever made like a matte black car. I don't think they ever did.
They never. Well, actually, the Evolution XX like.
Oh yeah, the
X
race,
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like that, I think came in matte black. But I mean, I don't know if like the interiors ever came like that. Like I really don't know them to come like that. So I wonder if it was custom or not. I mean, we could all just be sounding like some idiots to some dude with the cartism fully.
Were not stock though, that's for sure.
No, those wheels were also beautiful. I'm actually very tempted to put Ford stars on my truck right now.
No, keep it as simple and as basic looking as possible, and then have the Whipple just screaming. Yeah,
no, we did we got off the highway coming back to get around that traffic, and we did a launch out there, and holy fuck, that was the first time launching it. Fucking Nick had to stop the computer from hitting his face because he was editing photos on the drive down. It was fantastic.
It's the perfect truck because it's still got like the chrome on it. It looks just like a normal like dad's F-150 from the dealership, and then you put your foot down, the turbo screams, and the tires break loose, and all hell just.
Yeah, no,
awesome.
It's been a while since I've had my shoulders pinned into the back of my seat, but there was no moving my neck forward. I was absorbing by the seat.
I hate to bring my stupid fucking lesbian mobile.
Dude, those things drive so nice. You
Yeah,
gotta
it's
come up
fun.
for snowdrift.
Oh,
We go
yeah.
off-roading with it, and we usually put like the Jeeps and lower riding like all-wheel drive cars up front to clear it, and then you could just come ripping through.
I was about to say this. So a couple weeks ago, I had just this smallest exchange of paint with this truck that decided to pop a U-turn at like on a 50-mile-an-hour road across 3 lanes. I swerved to avoid him, and it's like literally an inch like of paint that I'm missing. It could have been an absolute wreck. And then the day before this car meet, some chick in a white Altima backs into me, and my rear bumper is now collecting paint and losing paint with other cars, which is tragic. I still have to fix the door, which I bought it with a little ding in the door. I got to get fixed. It just keeps racking
Bucket
up.
carbon fenders.
Yeah, so this generation is the second to the newest. I've been waiting for prices to come down. They're still very high for this generation. A carbon fender set is still like $600 to $900, depending on who you get it from. Yeah, and the doors even more. So carbon doors would be crazy.
Yeah. The thing with carbon too is you just gotta like, it doesn't matter the brand you get, it matters how you treat it, because like I've seen people buy the $2,000 carbon hood, and then I saw someone, I got this shit on eBay 5 years down the line.
Yeah.
The clear coat's coming off the super expensive one. The other guy's been waxing it, trying to keep it pristine. And the other guy's like, "What'd you do with it?" He goes, "I sprayed WD-40 on it last week." Like, and it looks cleaner than the really nice piece. I mean, when you pay for high expensive high priced carbon fiber, you're paying for the weaving, the structural integrity of it, and it's like, we shoot guns, we live in the world of, I don't like the way this grip feels, let me just tape it up. So it's like,
literally.
I think just a painted fiberglass is a great option too. Then it saves weight. No, they're the carbon world's weird. And now you got carbon fiber barrels and shit, and it's just, what does that do to the life of the barrel and shit?
And especially think that's the heat. Just for competition, where you're looking to shed as much weight as possible.
Which is going to be more your walking style, because in the true form of precision rifle shooting is you want weight because you don't want it to move to get back on target quicker. So it's
recoil management. Yeah,
it's a real niche little spot. Maybe just for hunting a couple
just
seasons.
To go to the gym more. Then you don't have to worry about how heavy it is.
Tremble.
What is it? Ounces become pounds, where you could just lift some weights and ounces don't
this
matter.
Is true.
And I say that as I have the heaviest plate carrier in the world.
Just a little bit. It's a tiny bit.
It stays fully stocked. There's always loaded mags in it.
Yeah.
It stays in that box locked and ready to go. I will tell you what, I bought that XTS 5000, that Motorola radio, because I was like, at some point I got to get a better radio than a Baofeng, and I've just been lurking on eBay waiting for a clean one with all the accessories that pop up for a cheap price. Stole one from some dude in California. I've been watching videos on how to program this thing for 3 days now, and it's such a daunting task. I've just been putting it off. It's just a non-programmed factory reset radio on my kit, and I'm like, I have to just one day spend an entire afternoon, just programming this with local repeaters and everything. It's just such a nightmare, though. It's such a monotonous, just tedious software. Baofeng being as cheap as it is and as unreliable as they may be, which I think those claims are probably, I think the early Baofengs is probably true, and there's probably, you get a bad one here and then today.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, if you're just using it, like the guys at the car meet were for, communication back and forth, people, directing parking, it's going to be fine. As long as you're not, camping out with it, unprotected in the rain, or crawling through mud with it, it should be fine. But yeah, the Baofeng software, the program Chirp, is super intuitive, super easy to use. It connects right to Repeater Book. You can basically just let it do its own thing. This is 100% manual, and it's borderline coding.
Yeah, that's fuck.
And I say that as someone who would look at a line of code and not know what the fuck it means. It's way simpler than coding, but to me, it's a foreign language. So
ask Rock.
Yeah, no, anti-AI. I will do no such thing. I did reach out to ECT, Everyday Citizen Tactical. I took his communications class at HTA last year. I was like, hey, just bought one. Would you come on the show and try to simplify this shit? Because I think it's the main, other than price, I think it's the main deterrent for those looking to step up from a Baofeng to a Motorola. And then maybe there's other options. I know he sells Motorola's, and that's sort of his weapon of choice in the comms world. So he'd be interesting to talk to.
L3 Harris dropped $1,000. on a
I get
battery.
like notifications for ones that pop up on eBay, and I'll jump in, and yeah, it'll be like $3.5 grand for a set.
Yep.
Whoa!
Yeah, I just upgraded to the UV9R. So that's the UV5R. I think it has a little bit more wattage capabilities, but it's waterproof and USB-C chargeable for the batteries.
Huge.
Of course, the fucking belt clip already snapped, but I mean, I'm just gonna start fucking duct taping it to shit, and then if it hits the PTT, my bad.
Probably 3D print something for that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I showed friends radios recently. I think there's actually pictures of it somewhere on Cattail Antenna's Instagram. But we went out when we went out to Snowdrift. I had a friend whose brother had a GMRS license. So I'm like, well, that should extend to her. So I gave her the radio. So get your brother's call sign and stuff. And we were talking over this entire time. Like phones didn't have to come out for most of it, which was
sweet.
And once everyone saw that that's what could happen with radios, everyone went and like looked into getting their GMRS license. And I think it's radios are making a comeback just for that aspect of like we don't always need to be using our phone.
And GMRS is cool because it's getting your license just a matter of putting in your credit card information.
Yeah, and you can get a very portable set that goes in your car. You put a little magnet that clicks to the top of your car when you're going on a trip, and you got carpooling, and you can do the fucking whole ham radio shit with the talking thing.
That's sweet.
And they have what sucks is there's not a lot of them that do UF and GMRS, so it doesn't hit all the bands like very well because of the power outputs, but. Another thing I want to get into is APRS. APRS seems super interesting. So that's like the using text in radio waves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that I think is, as long as you have an internet connection, which with Starlink, I think that's going to be a very interesting form of communication if something tends to break down. I know they're using a lot of Telegram and stuff in Ukraine because they still tend to have signal. So is the time when we get a total blackout, is that actually going to happen now? I don't necessarily know if we're going to experience it like we're thinking we were, but I think the APRS is going to be a good option, especially with encryptions on radio is completely different than it is through normal data streams. So should be interesting with that.
Pad check seems to be coming along okay.
They looking good. How is it doing supports?
The pad itself is like supported, if it makes sense. So I guess just like the lattice design works, it's like self-supporting.
That's interesting. So it's just like stringing stuff together because I've held those pads. So it's like doing like almost like little coils, like making like almost like a bed spring in a way, but it's all interconnected. Yep. Okay, that should be interesting.
The TPU I bought before, it printed them perfectly. Looked great. It was way too solid, but there's no way it could be used as like a helmet pad.
Yeah. So on the new one you got, what's the low temperature rating versus the high? Like in terms of like, is it going to lose structurability at the low temp?
The TPU is like the softer material. Are you talking about the helmet pads or the?
I'm thinking in the winter when I had to put my gel pad on in my helmet, and it feels like I'm fucking have like rocks in there.
That's a good question. I don't know if it's going to be as susceptible to cold as like the gel pads.
Okay.
Good question though. I know that because I was looking at getting a set of, I think it's the 4D tactical.
Yep, I have
4Ds are what I got, and they are 3-season pads because the second it hits below 40, those things turn into bricks.
Yeah, but once you wear it for a little bit, it's fine.
Yeah, it has to warm up to your head at some point.
Yeah, it will warm up to your head, but when you first put it on, you feel like you just like you're in a psych ward and someone just put a bunch of probes attached to your head and you're wearing a steel helmet.
It's so uncomfortable.
And they're telling you can't see God, but it's...
But even then, like, I still feel like I just need a throwaway set of like foam pads and stuff because I don't want to deal with that. I just don't.
I mean, what you could do, what I did this winter is I just took like 2 or 3 pads out and wore a beanie, and it kind of helped. So it wasn't as much like pushing down, but
the reason why I got into this is I needed new pads. The pads I had in my helmet originally just like they've worn down, so it doesn't fit as like tight. Yeah. I was just shopping around and I figured, wait, I have a 3D printer that can probably do something with it. So we'll see.
Either way, it's a great little experiment to try, get to understand the materials. I know when I
also
first
like to
started
sell
3D printing,
sets
it
of
was like
pads
that.
too. That for like under like $30 at least, because like every set of pads is like 100 plus. So if I can get like affordable pads that actually work out, it'd be kind of nice.
Yep. Yeah, no, I want to get another 3D printer and get back into it. The one I have now, the extruder's fucked. It's almost 7 years old at this point, so I think it's time to
I am
upgrade.
shocked I didn't have to do like major like repairs on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because one day I had it just running like a 5-hour job, and I went to work, and I can check in on the camera. And I was at my desk, got a notification the job was complete. Just check the camera real quick to see, and it was just this. It looked like Venom, just like
Yep.
exploded in the 3D printer. What? The
Yep, I've
fuck?
came back to that quite a few. I've came back to it where it's like a waterfall over the side of the bed to the ground, and you're just like, "What the fuck happened?"
And so I came home. I wish I took a picture because it like exploded out of the enclosure. The extruder fan like snapped off and like it came unplugged. I thought the wiring got cut or frayed when it got blown off. And it was all because I think when I had when I wrapped up the filament spool, like the tail end got wrapped under another line, and it got so tight when it was pulling into the extruder that it would like pop as it was getting pulled in, and it just jerked too much, and it just threw itself out of the printer. And
Yeah, I can't even
violent.
use my printer for that right now. It just all my filament's trash. So it would literally the motor would pull it and snap it. What printer do you have?
I have a FlashForge Adventurer 5M Pro, and if you want these, they are on HiBid, that sort of auction site, every day.
Okay.
There's a bunch of new ones that pop up.
HiBid?
They're going to be like Amazon returns for the most part. A lot of them are unopened. I found an unopened one I stole for very cheap. That's still sealed in the box. Works perfectly.
And what's the name of the auction site?
HiBid. You can find local pickups. You can find shipping ones. Make sure you check to see what the buyer premium is if you win an auction. Though sometimes it can be as high as like 25-35%, which is insane.
Instruction and farm.
15.
You could buy a farm on auction on this shit?
You can buy guns on there too.
Damn.
There is one seller though. I think his name is like Bizman Bids or whatever, and he'll have every gun, every optic imaginable, and you'll see like the bids like super low. Turns out he doesn't actually. So I almost bid on like a thermal, because I really want like a clip-on thermal, and I went down like a Reddit rabbit hole, and it turns out this asshole doesn't have like any of this stuff. And like if he happened, like you could win an auction, it can stay outstanding for like 5 years. And if he, for some reason, like comes across the item that you won for cheap, he'll actually like finally buy it and ship it out. But like, he'll be the most prominent like firearm and like optic like salesperson on that site, and it's gonna be very tempting to bid on one of his shit. But he doesn't actually have any of it, so stay away from it. I'm surprised I still allow him on there. But
Dude, they got an Audi R8 for 35,000 Canadian.
a lot of the Canadian ones won't ship to the US too, so you gotta be careful of that as well.
They're like a way to.
I found out looking through that website was a lot of those listings have minimums that they don't really put out there. It's just somewhere in the description.
Reserves.
Yeah. And it's like
sometimes they won't like let you know at all. So it's not one of those sites that you pay for each bid. You only like pay for the final price if you win. I bought probably a dozen things from that site. It's all come through.
Dang,
I bought when I got the VR from work. I bought like a kind of AR like VR sort of stock thing for like $5. It's like an Amazon return. I won. Hell yeah.
That's sweet. Yeah, no, there's some solid stuff on here. That's pretty interesting.
You can also bid on like plots of land too, which I'm very tempted to do sometimes when I'm bored at work. I'll be like, which one of these can I build a range?
Or can I grow some farm? Like, fucking do just a tree
farm.
farm.
Grow my potatoes.
10 years down the road, just fucking clear it. Kids' college is paid for.
This is true. I'm probably bidding against the state of Michigan that was trying to send it to the Chinese. So good luck with that.
This would be a way to get a Soren.
I'm gonna buy a plot of land and try to sell it to the state. And, hey, you can dump all that nuclear waste you're letting New York bring into here on my land.
Not a bad move.
People are finally starting to talk about that though, which is nice.
Yep, that's solid. I mean, what sucks too is that there's that mining thing they want to do in the UP, and it's like, why can't we just have an American company do it? Why are we having a Canadian company come in and do it?
Especially now.
Yeah. Like, there's such pure copper up there, and there's so fucking much. They found So up where my farm is, going from, they had somebody come out and measure the ground, and they said there's probably a vein worth $15 trillion
Holy
up
shit.
there. And they're never going to mine it. But
I'm cool with that. Yeah, preserve the land.
yeah, but it would be fine to mine because it's on a mountain, so it's not really you're gonna go into the caverns of the mountain that probably already pre-exist. I mean, what's really dope about it for me though is the vein runs directly underneath our property, and we have mineral rights to the property. So, so it's like, okay, can we actually mine that shit? Let's do it right. Come on. But yeah, it's actually where by the old radar base is where the vein kind of starts up in the Keweenaw. They used to run radar out of there to see what the fuck Russia was doing. Same with
That's
Marquette
fun as
Airport.
fuck.
That place was designed to go bomb Moscow.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're ever driving past the Marquette Airport, you'll be like, why the fuck is the landing strip so big and the plane so small? It's, well, they needed a place to take the Stratoforks off the ground, and that was a place they decided to do it. There's also NASA launch pads and shit up there. A lot of people don't know that. It's
That
actually
one
huge.
I knew about.
Yeah, there's a couple of them up there where they can launch. They're refurbishing some of them right now. Thinking about doing satellite, because they're so close, their angle of exit, it takes less fuel than it does from Texas or Florida. So it's a consideration to launch low Earth orbit satellites from there. And then realistically, if they launch it, they can just dump it over Antarctica and go just helicopter and grab it and pull out. But everything lands now, so which is fucking crazy.
That's
no one talks about that too much anymore. But yeah, no, Michigan has a lot of cool shit in general. But governor's a bitch. MDOT is gay.
True. I sold a shirt yesterday actually to a guy who was like, "Damn, it's a sweet shirt." I was like, "I sell them." He bought a large.
Yeah.
And then some dad just didn't get it. Like I was walking out of the gun shop. He was like, "Oh, what's your shirt?" I was like, he was like smiling. He wasn't being mean about it, but he just didn't understand. He's like, "Is it about government?" I'm like, yeah, "It's really more so a commentary about the roads." But like, yeah, sure, that too. He's like, "Oh, nice, cool." I was like, "It's not that hard to get."
No, not really. It's kind of out there.
Have we checked r/Grand Rapids yet to see if we were featured walking around there?
I did, no. I'm not a Reddit lurker. I only go there when I need help with a very specific question for a very specific thing.
Yeah, no, the Grand Rapids one is fucking hilarious to go into. Let's see if anyone talked about it.
Plus,
it doesn't look like it. That's something they post, be like, "What is this shirt?" But they have some interesting people on those pages.
What is this?
Yeah, well, speaking of, we had that one person on Woodward come up. What is this? There were the people that were like posted up right next to us. They're like, "It's a shirt." Yeah.
It's funny. You should buy one.
They're like, "What is it? They're for sale?"
Right out.
Yeah, I would like they're for sale. Like I don't know what. Like what does it look like?
Set up before anyone showed up. I set the tent, the table, chairs, the banner. I hung up some shirts. And before I could even sit down, there's one woman with her boyfriend or husband walked up. She's like, "I need one now." And I was like, "I got you."
That's awesome. Then we had that drunk guy come by, and he's like, "What? This is the best shirt I've ever seen."
And they didn't buy one. I was like, "So it's not that great."
Yep. No, it's a great shirt. If you're in Michigan, buy one. Represent.
I got to make more. I think about my last large. I think I sold yesterday.
That, and then the I don't know if you need to do an updated one now, but the Instagram warning one.
Yeah.
The band one.
I gotta reprint. I gotta find a new supplier for the hoodies. Where I made those hoodies didn't listen to the way I wanted the design transferred. They did like direct to garment versus screen printing, and it just doesn't look as bright or as vibrant or as clear. So I think that it's a difficult one. Well, they did it with the shirts, so there's no reason I couldn't do it with the hoodies.
Well, maybe High Bid has a shirt press.
I didn't think about that. That's a really good idea. I would print so many designs I had to sort of scratch just because of price.
Heat press machines, like you can get like single shirt ones. They got one right now.
If you want like 3 or more colors, it's like insanely expensive to have shirts made. Even like the Hellfire one, like, I'm getting really creative with how they're going to get made. Like I'm sourcing the shirts through like a wholesaler, and then I'm literally walking them into like a screen printing company, like locally, having them do it because it's just going to be cheaper than going through like any sort of online site where it's like a one-stop shop.
They have some. There's a bid on one for like $145. I don't know if doing multiple
That'd be
colors. I
worth
think
it.
it's the printer that you need.
Well, if it's screen printing too, it's just you can get away with just like a one station. You just got to change out each screen, and then you got to get paid and all that. Don't know where all
Site
this
is
shit's gonna
interesting.
go, but I have enough devices. I can add one more. It's fine. It's like Brit with all the kitchens. It's like there's a new one every week, and like there's no place you can go.
This is an air fryer that also tells you the room temperature of the room.
It's like, oh, it's a blender, but this one's blue. Great job. I'm sure we'll use this once a week. It's still in the box outside the kitchen.
This is a French press, but it does it upside down.
Hey, I'm cool with the coffee devices. Although
Yeah.
I've been stuck on my pour over. I bought an espresso machine.
Oh, if
like a
you want to
single
talk to
service,
someone
a pain
about
in the
coffee,
ass.
is Pulp in the Telegram. That man, he spent he put like $1,000 worth of like upgraded solid state like drivers and contacts into
Holy
his coffee
shit.
machine so it hit the perfect temperatures. And he was calling me. He's like, dude, I need an electrical engineer to fucking upgrade my coffee machine. So that guy, he's down for a good cup of coffee.
Yeah, I've been stuck on my pour over. If it's not the pour over, I will do the mocha pot. Those have been my two methods lately.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want a decent espresso machine. That's like the last kitchen device I think I could, I need.
See what they got on high
What I
bid.
found I want like a Breville. I think Breville's like the only brand I'm willing to really like drop the money on for a good one. And a lot of the ones that have the built-in grinders and everything, like they're pretty penny. But whenever I see them listed for sale on high bid and or eBay, they're always missing like half the shit that you need to run them. So I don't know why that is. Like the used ones, the refurbished ones end up missing like half the package, but
People want
that's just
double
the state of it.
accessories.
I guess.
I like buying it and returning it.
Yeah.
Be my guess.
Hey, dude, what? Hold on.
He just posted a pretty good pic. I love Schizogram though. That's been my getting home from work, just watching people just think they're being gang stalked.
Unfortunately, I truly do think thanks to Kanye West, the autistic and I mean that and these like Down syndrome kids who are also like Nazi worshippers. Those reels are coming back now, unfortunately.
Oh, or the fucking Hitler fan edits.
Yeah, like the one with like the kid playing the guitar and like the black sun behind him. Like that one went back to my For You page again.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those recently. And now Kanye says he's not anti-Semitic anymore.
This is a bridge to opening up the N-word to everybody, though, I feel.
Yep. Well, I mean, on top of it, they started up that Large Hadron Collider in Europe, so I think that they started fucking with shit again.
Nice. Germany's saying they want to be the strongest army again as well.
Mm-hmm. How incredible, though, was the video of Trump throwing up the people in, like, the parliament of South Africa talking about
funny.
killing the whites. He's like, just look at this. No, look.
4K pulled up the receipts and was like, what's this?
That's something his presidency is just unmatched with, is just the receipts. It's like when he pulled out the Polaroid of like, you're going to change your mind on this. And he has the Polaroid of his house.
Hilarious move to like bring the white, refugees in and then invite the president and all of his staff into the office and wheel out the TV cart from when we were in grade school, popping in the tape and going, check this shit out.
Yep, like we got you.
So, like, I didn't see how that meeting ended or how the conversation like went after that, but like how
do you come back from that?
South African guy just sit there after that? That's crazy.
Like, what do you do? That was pretty damn funny. I mean, that's government, right?
Yeah, truly.
Just getting it done.
When does the Senate, I guess, look at that bill that includes the protection?
Coming up.
Just out of curiosity. And then just brace yourself for it to make no difference on the end price because greed. And also, there's talks about them ending up. They still have to be transferred through an FFL or some shit. I mean, a step is a step. It's still they'll still find a way to make it as gay as possible.
Let's see. I don't think it says. I think they're talking about changing shit. Why can't I just like get it? Oh, they might vote for it on this day. These fuckers.
These.
I mean, it's Trump's big, beautiful budget bill, or whatever the fuck it's called. So, like, there's no chance, like, I feel like they let it
I looked
go
up
through.
big, beautiful bill Senate vote date, and I can't get a fucking answer. That's pretty straightforward.
I mean, hilarious that they somehow squeezed the hearing protection shit in there, but, like, it's, again,
In typical senator fashion.
Yeah, in a nutshell, where it's like, inside the big, beautiful budget spending bill, we included legalizing suppressors.
Okay, so it went to the Senate on the 22nd for confirmation, so I guess they're still going.
Damn, yeah, that's efficient. 22nd and the 23rd, which were both work days before the holiday weekend. Apparently 2 days wasn't enough.
Right now it's sitting 50-50 with Republicans with 215 votes, and 2 Democrats are saying yes, but 212 are saying no, so right now I guess it technically would pass. 2 of them are not voting, and one of them is just present. I love that. I'm just present.
I'm just here.
I'm just here. You're not a fucking journalist, asshole.
Here for the vibes. Yeah, you're paid to do a job.
Yeah, fuck it.
If voting's so important and sacred, like, you should probably do it since it's your job.
This is longer than a fucking graduating class list. How's there this many fucking representatives? There's too many of them.
Well, someone has to represent themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
I would love as one person to run, honestly. It's like, I really don't give a shit about
I got
you.
a whole
just want
state.
Insider trade.
Just have voting people like Berman Supreme. Michigan's got Dax Shepard up there.
Hey, he actually cares about cars, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be a cool one, at least, if we had to have someone.
Alright, I got a split, unfortunately. I thought I had more time to hang out.
Your French toast is getting cold, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just got a text about.
No, we're at an hour anyways. We can call it. Again, this is just episode 68 and a half. We'll do a big one next week at some point before I have to move to the new place.
Oh, yeah.
When do you move?
Yeah. Start moving in on the 1st. But I have until the 14th to be out of this place.
Gotcha.
Time. Maybe we'll set up in the backyard of the new place. That'll be fun.
Easy.
Alrighty, fellas. Until next time.
Alrighty.
Alrighty,
We'll
peace.
talk to you. Peace.
Adios.